Good evening, family and friends. We are here, and it is Wednesday, Hump Day, and you know we love it. This day, woo, we love it. We love this day because it's the best time of the week, and I'm telling you, we got something special for you guys. We definitely have a treat for you guys. We have a new guest, and she came in here with great energy, and you know I love that energy, y'all. Listen, guys, welcome to another season two, from the battle to the glory. Listen, Lady J is in the building, y'all, and I am so pleased. And we are so thankful that she blessed us with her presence. And without a further ado, we're going to let Lady J tell you a little bit about herself. Thank you, guys. Go ahead, Lady J. Take it
Well,
away.
thank you all so much for having me on here. I've been checking out y'all podcast. You guys are hot. Each one of you all brings something spicy. And I like it because, too, you guys are real. See, that's what time it is. We need to be real on these stations and let people know what's really going on without having to sugarcoat it, right? So
Absolutely.
let's say a little bit about me. I'm Lady J. I'm originally from Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois, South Side. But the cold weather really kind of got to me. So I've been down south for over 30 years. I was in Houston, Texas for about 9 years. And then I came to Atlanta. I've been here since 99. So I absolutely love it. You know, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother through my husband. And I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a caregiver, and I'm studying now to be a life coach. So I got my
Yeah,
hands full.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm. We love it. We love it. Well, today's topic, guys, this is something real interesting. It's
Mm.
breaking traditions. Do we follow or redefine them? And so we're going to start out with Lady J. How do you feel about that? What was the first thing when you saw the topic? What was going through your mind? How was your motors running? Tell us.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I just came out with a couple of slogans. Traditions shape who we are, but do they always serve us? Are we meant to follow them blindly, or is it time to redefine them for a new era? I say,
Mm.
let's dive in on that.
I hear you.
Oh, go ahead, Rodney. You want to start off?
Well, yeah. I mean, I believe a lot of traditions are. I believe that a lot of things are meant to be refined and changed and altered. I don't believe in blindly following anything, and I believe that you got to set it for the climate of the culture today, not a lot of things that our parents believed in or whatever the case may be, or even grandparents believed in. If we still follow that, we would be in some serious trouble. Now, there's also some things that we also can change. I recently was doing some research about the Great Depression.
Mm,
And did you know that it was the black people and the black culture that saved a lot of businesses in the Great Depression?
yes.
One being Cadillac. And the reason why was because black people were not allowed to put their money in the banks. So when the banks crumbled and a lot of other races who were able to put their money in the banks lost their money, you know what I'm saying? We were not we were still able to purchase and buy because we weren't able to put our money in our banks. So you got that old philosophy of hide your money in the mattress or
Mm,
hide your money in a coffee tin and stuff like that. That my father and my grandfather and grandmothers, participated in that and kind of understood. And I actually was talking to my wife this week about that because right now the government and the banks are becoming unstable, in my opinion.
mhm.
And the biggest new attack that's going to be on us is going to be through um, what is it called? Cyber warfare. And you're not going to be able to access your money in banks. You're not going to be able to access your money and things like that. So me and my wife were talking about now buying gold, now buying silver, and putting that away and holding that where if things do go down, we still have something. But I even still don't know if that's going to be something there. But I mean, it's just taking a look at all the things that your ancestors have done, and to me, you always pick the good and leave the bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's always something that you got to go case by case on what's going on. But that's just a quick example of what I thought about when I was like when I read the topic for today. So,
Lady T.
I totally agree. I mean, I looked up and I was like, there's so many different traditions that's out there. Holiday traditions, milestone traditions, everyday traditions, cultural and religious traditions, seasonal traditions. When I looked at each one of those categories, I said, wow, I didn't know I had so many traditions. And a lot of times, if your child asks you something, I believe with Chef Dennis, I gave an example, and it was this mother and daughter, and the the daughter was in the kitchen, and she was cutting off the sides of the ham, and her son decided to ask her, "Why do you cut the sides off the ham?" She said, "Because my mother did it." So she went to her mother. And she said her mother did it. Thank God her grandmother was still alive. Her mother, she asked her. She said, "Girl, I did that because the pans were so small. I had to cut off the ends to fit them in the pan."
Mm-hmm.
there you
So
go.
here
And
we
that will
are,
absolutely happen too.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
know.
Yeah.
So we're doing traditions and we're not knowing why they're doing them. You ever remember? I know of my generation, when we were asked to do something, we were asked why. Why? Why do we have to do it? Why? Whereas before, what did that generation say? Do what I say. Don't do
Yep.
what I do. Do what I say. Well, I'm like, I want to know why you asking me to do this. I want to have a better understanding. So just by communication, just by different things that we do and say, and even our history, we've been fed. I remember they were telling us when we were growing up that Columbus discovered America. No,
Absolutely.
not.
Right.
Okay. Well, I think the internet really kind of helped us out because we really started putting out truth that we never had heard before. Then we started going and studying because they said the best thing for people not to know is put it in a book because they not going.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know, but
I'm
I
still
think
mad about my American history teacher. I'm still upset about that. If I see him in these streets, we got a problem.
Okay.
Because I
hey,
studied, and he was black. I study hard. I'm
Oh
mad.
yeah.
100%. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean that's so true because and I can verify that we talking about that yesterday. I can verify that because let me tell you why. Because most, and I hate to say it like this, most black people that go and buy a car, they don't read that whole contract.
Hello.
It's a lot of paper to read. They don't read that contract. And when they get into a mess, guess what they do? Oh, I didn't know that because you didn't read. Because you didn't read the fine print of what it told you that was in your contract. And that's that, like you said, that's what happened. And a lot of people and we talk about changing traditions. That is something that we all, and I say this publicly, openly, is that when you go and buy a car, read the contract. Read the fine print because it's something there that you might not agree with. And guess what? That's why it's small, because that they know they're in the business of selling the car, but also they're in the business to make a deal and try to get over. I'm being so serious because at the
Yes.
end of the day, why do you think they put it so small? Because people have to take the time and really read it. When my wife got a car, I went with her. I said I'd let her do all the talking. But when it's time to sign that paper, hold on, baby. Let me read this. I took my time. I read it. Okay. Warranty. Okay. Gap. Because see, that's another thing. Gap. Now, and I'm gonna let y'all finish. I just want to say this because seriously, it's important because look, I'm gonna tell you what they did, and it's just an example of what you just said. Is that they tried to sell her Gap. And I said, hold on. Gap, when you buy a brand new car, Gap's supposed to come with it automatically. So
Come
they try
on.
in the fine print, they tried to sell her Gap, and the Gap was like $1,500. I said, no, hold up, it's a brand new car. No, it comes with it. That's a additional thing that comes with it. You don't gotta pay for extra Gap. No, I said, no, we don't want that. Take that off. And guess what? She has Gap on it. You know what I'm saying? So I say all of that to say is that's what happens, man. And we have to learn how to take your time. So what? If you're a long reader, read it. It's important to read it. You know what I'm saying?
Especially read everything you're paying for in the car. Because my car had a smoker's package on it. And I was like, I don't smoke, take that out. And it was just a cup. They charging me $300 for a cup that was in the what you call it. The other joint was the prep fee. Go ahead and tell them get rid of that. that ain't real. That car brand new. What you need to prep?
That's
you
right.
You want to charge me for unwrapping
it? My husband,
hey,
good and bad cop. That's what we do. So I let him go in there. He be all nice and all that, and I just be out of my mind. I said, "What? What you ready to do? What they getting ready to charge you?" I look at the paperwork. I'm not signing nothing till I read this. Oh, what's the note? Oh no, I'm not paying that. I said, "Come on, baby, let's go. We can take that down." I said, "Okay, let me read the contract." Because if they can get over on you, they will get over on you. That's why.
And I always refuse the first finances too. Whatever they give you fine, refuse it. Nope, that ain't working. Every time, no matter what it say. I say no every time. Nope, find me another bank.
I say I'm not desperate. I said, oh no. I said, I'm not desperate. We're going to go out. I said, baby, remember that deal down the street? Let's go down there and go do that. They go, she's going out.
That's how you get that. Yeah, that's how you do it.
You have to learn in this society, which is unfortunate. You have to learn how to play the game. There's always a game. It doesn't mean you a flunky. It doesn't mean, but if you're going to make it in this world without losing your morals and all of that, learn to play the game to get what you want.
Wow, you know who just said that? Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl.
Hey, man,
Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. Exactly what he just said. He showed it to be a game. He said you got to learn how to play it, But I ain't gonna get back into that. We're gonna move on. Hey, traditions. You're right. I told my wife that Santa Claus and Christmas is ending with us.
Definitely.
I'm not. I should have did this a long time ago. And I don't know why I'd let my wife talk me into still doing this tradition, but I hated it with every ounce of my passion. There's two things. And the greatest argument that I got was from my boy Coach when he said to me, you should not be teaching your kids about fictional characters because when you come to tell them about Jesus, then they're going to feel the same way. And when he said that to me, that was the day Santa ended. I was like, you can believe that? There won't be no more tooth fairies in my house. Won't be no more. Nah, ain't none of that. And that to me is something that we should be saying to each other, especially as Christians. Like, why are we teaching our children about fictional characters? Why are we doing that? So anyway, I'm sorry. That's just something I'm
remember now, that's a tradition that you finally came to the realization to cut that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm tired of that fat white man getting my credit. I hated it. I told my daughter was riding her bike when I got her bike for Christmas. She was riding. She was like, "Thank you, Santa. Thank you." Riding the bike all happy. She rode around that block like 3 times. I said, "Come here, baby. Let me tell you something. Come here. Come here, baby. Ain't no Santa. He don't exist." I blew her bubble right there. I ain't care. It was like, I'm done with that, But
Imani knew that early. I was like, yo, ain't no Santa. That's one thing I'd say, yo, ain't mommy and daddy buy it for you. That's it. Yeah. Ain't no Santa. Ain't no. And first of all, look, I think she went to go see Santa one time and sat on lap, took a picture. After that, I was like, that's a wrap for me. No more. Ain't no. Me and mommy, this
crazy.
We play Santa, okay? Ain't no Santa coming down the chimney and getting no cookies, none of that stuff. Go ahead to sleep, wake up and open your gifts.
What was he thinking putting our kids on this stranger's lap? I don't know what was I thinking. I still can't believe it. I'm so disappointed in myself. But go ahead.
Everyone has at least one picture sitting on Santa's lap.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't. Sorry.
Oh,
You
okay.
Oh,
know.
well, hey,
Mm.
there's
There's
always something that's out there
Yeah.
now.
You can go do it now.
There
You can
are
go
a
do it
lot of
now if
us
you
who
want.
did one time.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to miss the experience. Next
I'm
Christmas, I
good.
got you, dog.
Look, I'm straight. Oh man, but we
Um,
talk about traditions. Listen, this one thing that we definitely have to. I feel like we should make a difference in traditions. You know how sometimes when you get married, this is big. When you get married, you feel like, all right, now I'm married, and now you forget about your family, the ones that you're connected to. I think that's important, and you got to change that because it's not we didn't choose our family. God gave those individuals to us, the ones that you're able to connect, because they especially the ones that like your siblings. And I'm saying this because I'm openly saying this because I got to work on that myself. You know what I mean? I'm the oldest. I have 5 siblings, right? And me and my sister, we ain't close. Like she the only sister I got. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. And I see that a lot. I got friends. I'm like, yo, you going over to your brother house? Oh, nah, me and my brother don't get along. Why not? Have you worked at it? Is it you? It don't have to be your brother. It could be you too. Have you learned how to communicate with him? He might not be a easy person to communicate with, but do you try? Have you tried? You know what I'm saying? And I think families, you look at families and they're not close knitted like they should be. You think about in slavery, they were forced to be close knitted because what I'm saying, they was in close
Yes.
places, and guess what? They sung together, ate together. They was forced, and I feel like back in the day they had a lot of unity. You know what I'm saying? They definitely had a lot of unity back then because they were forced to be close and talking amongst each other. But now, once look at the families now. We're not a lot of families are not close knitted. A lot of siblings are not. They go their own way. They get their own relationship with God, and then they forget about. Just think about this: your sibling is a gift from God. You know what I'm saying? And how, especially if y'all walking the same path and y'all doing the same thing, you still want to spend time with your siblings as well as your husband. That's part of your family. God, especially when you marry somebody, you got to remember you want to be close knit because you want your children to see that, to see the love, to
Mhm.
see the I can get along with this person even though I can't stand them sometimes, but I can get along with. And our children grow up in this world and they don't have that. They don't see that. So it's not like it's practice. We need to start practicing that, and stop looking at what somebody is. And Lady T always say this, judging. No, don't look at what they're doing. What's it? Just show them love. How can you show them love if you're not there? Love is an action. So you definitely got to show love, not just by saying, "Oh, I love you." No, what are you doing to show that genuine love? You know what I'm saying? So
So
that's
now
just me.
we're talking about some new traditions. First of all, we have to know the old ones. And what I noticed and what I started talking in my book, I'm finding out all kind of things, mental health, all kind of issues that's going on, right? And um, mental health was not a big thing in our family, but in my husband's family, it was.
Mhm.
And so I'm embarking onto something. First, I'm going to have to learn about this. I'm going to have to learn too that the family was just living with it, not really honoring it, for me to dig into it, learn about it, take some seminars about it. So now I can help share that with others through my book. And so new traditions are real important. Do we start any new traditions once we know the old ones? I love the one the Beast gave in regards to Santa Claus.
Yeah, I did when I had my daughters in my tummy. I would read to them. And I always feel like reading is very important. So I grew up with them reading, and we go to the library. And I always encourage people, we need to read more. We need to teach our children to sit down and read.
Yes.
It's good for the brain. It's good to, learn to read and love it, because that's something that is a bad tradition for a lot of us, that we just don't take time to read. Read something that, we enjoy reading. It can be any type of, we look at stories on television. And we love the stories on television, but we don't want to look at words. And that is what we're living in. The day and age that we are living in, we have to look at words and we have to look at the words and put meaning in it. And I think reading is something that we need to learn how to break that tradition of not reading to our children and letting our children know that it is good to read and give them time to read regularly. Not every now and then, regularly. That's
No,
very important.
that you're right. You definitely right. Reading together, and I think just think about it. It teaches them how to have confidence. Sometimes
Mhm.
when people get in front of a bunch of people, they get tongue tied or they get nervous because they're reading. They don't want to look like they dumb and because they stumble over a word. So I think that's important too. That's definitely a big changer right there. Learning how to read in front of other people. So you'll be learning how to speak in front of other people as well. I think communication is key. Is something we all have to work on. You know what I'm saying? Being able to communicate with different people on their level, on our level, and just communication is key though. Even in this world we live in, it's detrimental learning how to communicate. When you learn how to master that, you can master any relationship, whether it be good or bad, because of your communication. I think that's what we talk about mental health.
Mhm.
I think that's the most important thing is learning how to communicate. Everybody have different love language. Everybody
Yeah.
have different ways of communicating. So just being able to do that, master that, and I think that's key for mental health.
Yeah, mental health.
Absolutely.
Mental health has definitely become huge for me and my family, especially in the last couple years since I started Dad Mentality podcast. It definitely one of the things that we do in my family is that we have family meetings, and they're respected and treated exactly the way that I really feel it should be. One thing that I always tell anybody before we have a family meeting is we always pray. We always pray, and I always pray that everybody understands that everything's about to be said in love, and
Mm.
everything is about to be, a safe place where people can express themselves. And once the meeting's over, whatever was said in the meeting stays there. You know what I'm saying? And we have that and it works very well. My kids, when they're having true issues, they'll call the family meeting, and we'll sit down and I'll have them pray, and then I do control the meeting. There is still a judge and jury at the end of it, but I definitely always make sure that I when I do, I listen. And the other thing is that you have to take the time to really let the person explain their emotion. You know what I'm saying? I don't let my kids just go, "Oh, my teacher's not giving me a fair grade." Okay. So what is step? I ask them? So what do you think the steps you should do? I don't answer their questions. I make them
Mm.
process it and work through to get their own answer. You know what I'm saying? I don't just tell them what to do. And then even if they get their own answer, I don't agree with them. I'll give them suggestions, and then I'll be like, okay, well, in 2 weeks we'll come back and then we'll rediscuss this again. You know what I'm saying? To see where you are, to see if you work through it. And I really feel that, like Miss Lady J said earlier, in our childhood, we didn't get that opportunity. It
Mhm.
was usually, I don't like my teacher. Well, you better get over and do what they tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? And there's no, or I don't like what's going on. I don't feel that that's fair. Well, guess what? Life ain't fair. Get over it. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, like if you cry, like for my kids, when they cry, I make them work through that emotion. I don't just tell them to shut up or go in your room or I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I make them explain to me what that emotion is and how to work through it. And is that a real emotion or you just hurt right now? Because if you just hurt right now, you know what I'm saying, then how are you going to get through that? So it's a lot. It takes a little bit more time, but the thing about it is once you teach your children how to do that, then
Mm.
they'll do it on their own. You ain't gotta keep on doing it. You may do it 2, 3 times, especially if you start when they're young and they don't understand their emotions and you teach them how to understand their emotions. Then when they get older and they become teenagers, my daughter is excellent at verbalizing how she feels now. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? Like she doesn't have no problem. And don't get me wrong, I'm still made some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Real quick story. My daughter's a nurse. She came, she did an internship. She's still in high school, but she did an internship at a nurse, and this was a huge mistake I made. And I'm saying it out there just so other fathers don't make this mistake. Because my daughter she's emotional. She cares about people and this, that, and the other. And she told me somebody on her floor died.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, I started off, okay. I was like, well, did you talk to anyone? And then she was like, I went and talked to the other nurses. And I said, good. What did they tell you to do? And she went through the joint and what you call it. But then I was like, yeah, people gonna die every day, B. And then that was when that joint just went off the rails. And I didn't, and then I also made the mistake of not hugging her. Because that's all she really wanted. And she ended up telling me later that all she wanted me to really do was just give her a hug and tell her it was okay. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes men as fathers, we want to try to fix everything. And this, that, and the other. And you have to understand that sometimes it's not to be fixed. Sometimes you just have to be there and present in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And not try to fix everything and not try to do everything. Yeah, but whatever you do, don't tell them somebody die every day, B, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that was a terrible joint. But that was just a
Let me
little
tell
something
you,
to give you.
I love that. I love that. You're making up something that's going to keep them from having mental illness issues at a young age. When I talk to a lot of people in our generation, some felt like they were being verbally abused. Some thought that they was being beaten too much. And we were told, just like you said, suck it up.
Yeah.
Go on with this, go on with that. I just got finished taking a spirituality and emotional support. And what we are to do, we want to go out in our communities because we out in Conyers, Georgia. And that is to be able to just sit and listen to people. People don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
Just sit, listen, let them know they're in a safe place. And if you have a question, ask for clarity, sit back and let them talk. Let them know they're in a safe place. What is on your mind? We don't have that. In my book, I'm trying to find somebody to talk to what I'm going through. I couldn't find nobody to. I went to my church. One lady told me we all got marriage problems and walked off. I said, oh, this is the church of God. What's really going on here? I said, okay, Lord, you're good. I know I've gotten through it this far with you. Then I, started talking to some of my girlfriends and I just talked their little ear off. I just couldn't seem to do it until so much came upon me that I collapsed, checking in to an ER.
Mm.
I couldn't take it anymore. My head was spinning. My body was aching. This happened about a couple of years ago. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. My mother and father, I used to go back and forth to Chicago taking care of them. And then we finally brought them down here, me and my husband. He was here for 5 months and unexpectedly passed. And I'm daddy's girl. That was the end. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. I cried all the time. In these classes, too, they give you what depression is, what this is. Schizophrenia, depression, PTSD, and I think it's another one. Just kind of know a little bit of the symptoms because when you kind of go with people, you'll have an idea. Let's look this up. You might be a little depressed because I found myself staying in a room by myself in the dark. I would have never had called it depression. All I know is outgoing and everything that I am. People used to call me a socialite. Well, Lady J has to condition her mind to come out her room in order to get herself together to function, and then can't wait to hurry and get back home and go back into the room again. So, all these different things, it's started a new tradition. That's why I'm so proud of the Beast. because all of us need to take out the time. Now, just think what he's teaching his kids right now. They're going to turn around and do it to their kids.
Mhm.
That's an awesome tradition.
Do it to their friends. My daughter is like
Yes.
she does it to her friends. And we've had those conversations too, where I like, she comes and tells me, my friend's going through something. I had to actually reach out to one of her friend's mothers, and her mother now her mother loved my daughter, but now my daughter's like her daughter because she was willing to reach out to his mother, the young man's mother, and have the hard conversation with her, like, you need to see your son. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't,
Mm.
whatever's going on in your life, you need to stop it and you need to see him now. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy to have she was, I think, maybe 15 at the time, to go and I had to support her in that, you know what I'm saying? And now, now that young man is in college, his first year of college, and she's going to go, but she takes my daughter everywhere and talks to my daughter and helps her with him. And I mean, it's a great thing. But yeah, if you invest in that time and put that into your children, and that's something I feel that we all should be doing, then like I said, they'll grow in having somebody getting yourself emotionally, what's the word that everybody's using now,
Have release, having an emotional
not
release.
no emotional intelligence. That's what I'm
Got
trying to think of. Yeah, having that emotional intelligence to understand how you feeling is
yes.
is groundbreaking, in my opinion, for us as a culture. Because you really are able to work through and learn about yourself, figuring out your love language, like Chef Dennis said earlier, figuring out the things. Once you start, it's so empowering that to be able to know that about yourself. And I'm not even talking about other people. You know what I'm saying? I know how I need to process something. And I have times where I have to tell people I can't process that right now. Like what you're saying to me, I'm not here. I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know when it takes time to come back and then actually get it processed. But you get knowing yourself and really knowing why you feel the way you feel is something that to me is empowering, and I think as a culture we need to
That is
be
huge.
working on that more. So,
Yes, that is huge. Get to know thyself, right? If you ask me what my color is and I don't know, there's something wrong with that. If I don't know who I am, someone can say something about me and say you this or that, and I will come back and correct them. I'll say, you don't know me. That is not me at all. You know? But then when you got that peer pressure and everything, the peer pressure in school, and they'll sit up there and tell you this, that, and the other, and now you shrunken all down because you're believing them. It's
Mhm.
because you don't know yourself. So a lot of times, if they're slow in that area, when the beast is catching them young, you're confident. You are enough. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are God's child. He will never leave you or forsake you. You're putting the seeds, you're planting the seeds in them. So when they go out, they are more equipped to handle the world.
Well, I want to share some with y'all. We talk about breaking traditions and do we follow them and refine them, right?
Mhm.
Watch this. So I'm like Rodney. I have daughters. See, Rodney has. I have. I'm married into having sons, but my biological daughters. Um, I try to have a great communication with them. So let me tell you, what my daughter. We went out for lunch, and she said, "Dad." No, she did like this. She's like, "No, Dad." I was like, yo, it's the man's job to come and say, look, I want to meet your father. Right. She said, no, Dad. I received it when I first heard when she first said it to me. I was like, what you talking about? No, he's supposed to come see me. Right. I was all aggressive. But then God was like, calm down and listen to what she's saying. Like it was like a calm voice saying, calm down, listen to what she's saying. That is how me and Rodney was taught that we should go and see the father and talk to him, right? But no, guess what? This is a new generation, so we have to show communication. Hey, how you doing? Well, I would like to come on. Let me take y'all out for dinner. Get to know him. Me and introducing myself, saying, look, even though I met him before, but she was like, Dad, you don't even hang out with us. You don't do nothing. You think he's supposed to just come. I said, you know what? All right, I'm gonna go out. have dinner with y'all. I'm gonna meet him. I want because she was like, I'm different than her mother. I am very very much different from her mom's, and I said, you know what, you're right. I said, look, I'm gonna get. So I was supposed to call her tonight and or text her and let her know that, you know what. All right, let's set something up. Friday is Valentine's. I said me and my wife gonna do something special, right? And then maybe Saturday or Sunday. Monday is a holiday. I said maybe Monday we gonna get together. I'm gonna maybe either cook for them because I got the chef first teas. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm gonna do. And I want to redefine that. I want to change that, and so I'm working on changing that, as well as just being more transparent with them. Because they do have a tough time living in this generation. They're learning different things that we didn't learn. It's almost similar but different, and I really took that to heart. And I was like, you know what? Because I'm always Rodney, Lady T, always getting on my case. You got to be open minded. So I was like, this God was like, I'm serious. God was like, shh, 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 hush, be quiet, listen. And I was sitting at the because I was getting hyped. I was sitting at the table. No, I really was. I'm serious.
No, I believe you, dog.
I was like, somebody.
I'm trying to process it right now, and I think I'm like you. I'm like, nah, dog, nah. You gotta come see me, son.
Hey, Lady J and T. Look, the lady looked at me like this. Oh, because I was like, yo, what you talking about? I said, no, I'm not going to see him. He coming. But then God was like, calm down, listen, make a difference, change the perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me catering to them. It's like, all right, listen, come on, what y'all doing? Take out a dinner. Sit there, have a conversation. Let them know where I stand. Let them know the person I am, how my character, what I expect of him. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously, Ronnie, because guess what? You got to remember, there are men that are cunning. There are men that can be deceiving to the woman, tell them all these good things, but then when they get behind closed doors, they something different. And so, you know what? I want him to know that she does have a father, an active father, even though she's grown, that I get down like that. As a Christian, I'll let you know, like, let's not going down like that. I'll go upside your head. All right. So let's not go there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being real. Like I said, I will tell him I'll go upside your head. So listen, keep your hands to yourself. I know you're going to have disagreements. I know you're not going to understand sometimes, and that's okay. But don't mean you got to put your hands. Don't mean you got to downgrade her, tell her she B and all that. No, we not having all. I want you to have a healthy argument. No, seriously, that's how I talk to them.
No, like, I'm laughing because I'm proud of you because I don't think I can do it.
Oh no, nah.
I don't think I'm capable. I think I might have to. I'm the father that's coming with a gun right on him. As I meet, like I'm not playing at all. Like
right, Rodney, I'm gonna show you.
And I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm hoping that I will be able to do that.
This what I'm about to tell you right here, and these are two women that gonna say the same thing. You know why I changed? Because I had that mentality right there. I had that same mentality. This what made me change. One of my boys said to me, D, no, you can't be like that because no matter how much we go hard, right, and we want the best for them, they'll go right back to them. So the key is to show that the love, even though it's hard, you gotta show love because guess what? You want them to see that you want them to make the best choice, not force them to that, because that's what we do. We push them to them because they be like, oh, daddy, I love him, daddy, I love him. And we like, yo, I'll bust you in the head. Next thing you know, they sneaking, they lying. But if you like, all right, you know what, all right, babe, tell them the real deal. I'm like, I really don't want you there, but you know what I'm saying? I'm supporting you, and let them see that you really genuine. It very much makes a difference, bro. And I know that for sure. And any men that's listening, they know. Gun home. I got 2 daughters. You know what I'm saying? And look, that guy she married, I'm not okay with that. But guess what? She married him. So guess what? I can't. This is what I said. If I hurt him, they got a kid together, right? Say I hurt him because he did something to my daughter. That's how I'm thinking. My mentality. I'm thinking he hurt my daughter. Now I hurt him. I cripple him. I do something. I kill him. I go to jail. He win. He gonna still have her. Now he gonna take his revenge on her, and now he gonna beat her, abuse her, And now, guess what? I'm in jail because I did something that I couldn't control myself. I couldn't control my emotions. You see what I'm saying? So that's what made me change my perspective and mind on that. Because you know what? I want them to be happy, and sometimes I can't make them decide to be who they want to be with. It's just me trying to give them advice and tell them, all right, I don't want you to do that. But I've learned that. It was hard. I'm not gonna front. It was hard
That
because I'm.
is a great tradition. My dad, man, yeah, I'm the oldest and I have three brothers. The way he set that thing up was that he was always like my protector. Then when I got ready to go, I get ready to do my own thing. He'll tell my brother, "You going with Lady Jack?" What? Next one came along. Yeah, all y'all going out. I appreciated that so much. It's like they were my bodyguards. They protected me. So any guys that try to come around and try to act fresh or something with me, no, my dad wasn't having it. Walk your brother across the street. Y'all gonna do this together. So we became a close knit family. It's very important, and I love the new traditions that we're coming up with. You have to talk to them differently. We came up a different way so that we're able to get them the type of way. I had to do the same thing. Just let them talk. Let them express themselves and then say, do you mind if I give a suggestion? Because I want to honor that they're grown. If I'm going to sit up there and talk to them and everything like they were still 5, they going to feel that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, give them an opportunity to talk. You're not like us, y'all men do. Y'all want to fix it. I have to tell my husband, look, I'm ready to share something with you. Please don't try to fix it. I just want to be able to share, right? I want to be able to, you know, um, I like that thing about self-control. That was my next point. The only person that we can control is ourselves.
Mm-hmm. I
That
want
should put a cap on what we do right then and there. When we trying to control somebody else, we can't do that. We can only control ourselves. That takes a lot of weight off of you. The
to.
rest, you pray to God.
I want to give a shout out to Amber Love. Guys, this is going to be one of our guests. She's checking us out today.
Uh-oh.
She has a great story. I hopefully, Lady J, you'll be watching. She
Okay.
has a tremendous, I'm talking about blow your mind story. I can't wait to have her on here. We met when I met. We did a video chat on yesterday. It was awesome. A true woman of God. Her story, her testimony is awesome. It brings joy to my heart when I hear other people's testimonies and their story of their triumph. To, like she said, to God be the glory. I'm telling you guys, it's
God
awesome.
be the glory.
I guarantee you, I hope that Ronnie is available to be a part of that, because I'm telling you guys, it's going to touch your heart. And it's not so much of a sad story. It's a story that, when God has something for you, he'll allow you to go through something so you can reach the glory of it all. You know what I'm saying? That's why I changed the podcast to From the Battle to the Glory, because we all have battles, and we listen, when
Oh,
you get through the battle, you get to the glory. You know what I'm saying? And it's a great prize, a great reward just to come out of that, and like I tell you, I'm so just thinking about it. I'm telling you guys are gonna be moved, you guys are gonna be touched. People, and I always tell people that have stories like this, shackles are going to be broken and people are going to be delivered from your testimonies. But God's going to get the glory mostly, and that's just one of bigger up, because she is
I can't
awesome
wait.
woman.
I
Yes.
can't wait.
Go.
Because we are
I got.
all having those type of stories, in Mama, when we talk about the unexpected strangers, how I grew up. Some of us grew up naive. Some of us, had to learn from the streets. And so as you coming up, you're getting into adulthood, you have all these voices going with you. And so I end up, being in relationships that they said that they were one way and they
Mhm.
became another.
Mm.
And then your mind is blown. Now you say, well, I made my bed. Now I'm going to lie in it. So now I really get into the emotions because that's what we try to cover up. Let's get into the emotions of how that character was feeling, what she had to go through, who was there for her, who was not there for her, who was there was faith, her faith that brought her through so she can have that time to get divorced, raise her son, remarry, and then go into a whole different, unexpected stranger that she had no idea how to navigate. Now you're going to find out how she finds out, how she has empathy, how she allows the Lord to use her. And now she writes about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's becoming an advocate for mental illness because it's so needed out here. We want to give you the resources and everything where to get the help needed.
Ah, man, listen, it's truly it's a blessing just to have like I'm telling you, man. Look, I'm growing myself. I'm working. I'm a work in progress.
Mhm.
And it just brings me joy. And I say this, man. I'm so serious. This ain't no game. Like Lady T, don't understand. Like just you being here, man. Look, you don't understand. Like I told you, you are very powerful. You going. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm so glad to have you as my co-host because you amazing. You just are, man. I'm serious. You ain't say too much today. You laughing, but I'm just telling you. I gotta be me. You
Does
know.
Lady T have anything to add this evening?
Well, no, I want to know more about your book. I was waiting, to ask questions about your book. What made you want to
Oh,
write?
well,
How
ask
did
it
you,
out.
yeah,
Hey,
I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
Oh,
So,
Oh,
come on,
Lady T's
come on.
patient. Eventually, she
yeah.
gets tired of Chef Dennis, and then she'll jump in. But she's pretty patient.
I
Go
just
ahead,
wanted to
Lady
know what
T.
made
Lady T,
you.
it's you got the stage, Lady T. Let's
Okay.
go. Fire it up.
So can you tell us what made you want to write a book? How long did it take? Did something happen that sparked in you? Because I love to hear when people write books. For some reason, we don't have a lot of us doing that nowadays, and it's really therapeutic, and it can really release a lot. So I just wanted to know more about why you wanted to write the book and a little bit about it.
It's amazing because as I was coming up, and I act like I was always an actress. And so, I will always be animated. And I started telling my stories, and they were like, oh my goodness, your life sounds like a soap opera. You should write a book. So, you get that little implant, high school, college, you going on through life, but then it never was the right time. But when I told you that experience, what happened to me in the hospital, and the doctor, he was so puzzled. I was in there for 3 days, and he just came on the side of my bed, and he said, we've taken your tests, and everything is negative. But I said, I can't be making this up. My head acts like it wants to explode. My body is all achy and all of that. He just pulled up beside my bed and he said, can you tell me what's been going on in the last 2 or 3 years of your life? That was it. I started crying. Everything started coming out. No one took out the time to ask me. You understand what I'm saying? It took me to go to the hospital to figure that out. He says, you know what? I'm going to have you go to a neurologist. I want to make sure everything's okay. I want you to get a psychiatrist, and I want you to get a therapist. Well, the therapist changed my life. She said for the first
Mhm.
3 months, she never saw me smile
Mm,
for 3 months, and I was going to her every week.
mm-hmm.
So to get a therapist back in the day, you was crazy if you went.
Taboo. Yep.
Uncle Tom, Uncle Bill, or what have you, was in the room when it came to guests, not to have them come out. Everything was hush hush. In this generation, you're going to have to go see someone. When I went to her, the weight started being lifted. When she saw me smile, I said, you know what? People are still telling me I need to write a book. And we both started laughing. And then she said, well, why don't you? I said, excuse me? Why don't you write a book? She said, Janelle, you have so many stories, all the stories and everything that you have told me, Lady J. If you don't even write it out.
Yeah.
Just write it out. And I said, well, where do I go? I went to the Lord and I prayed. And he said, start from the beginning. I'm getting emotional, choked up right now.
Don't worry
All
about
right,
it.
Lady J.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I started from the beginning and I said, so what should I call it? He said, what have you had in your life? I said, the profound things I've had unexpected strangers, unexpected encounters, unexpected circumstances, and then the unexpected stranger, because I named that. And when you look at the front of my book, there's no face. Why? Because it could be anybody, any nationality. It could be male, female. It could be whoever. Is if you fit in my story. Do I give any names or places in my book? I do not, because you know why? I want you to see yourself in that book. I want you to relate to the characters. Does it have to be a big book like that? Absolutely not. It's about like that, but it's powerful. I have too many people that's coming to me and they're saying, oh my goodness. One girl put stickies through the whole book and sent me a copy of it. And said, I got to talk to you because I'm really resonating with this book. I have some people that called me and said, you know what? I have not talked about this. You just brought this back up. I tell you, deal with yourself. Deal with the issues. That's why I keep getting on the beast, man, because get out your feelings, because you know what? They're going to turn into something else. So then I just started writing. I started writing January of last year. I had a goddaughter that came. And so I would do it early morning. I would do it late at night. I would take my voice recorder and I was like, oh yeah, this is a good thought. And then I would go ahead and then be able to put it into the book. And it's 10 chapters. At the end, I leave you with scriptures. I'll leave you with motivational quotes, because once you read it, it's going to inspire and motivate you to be a better you.
I can't wait to read it. I'm so looking forward to it.
What, hey, Lady
Absolutely.
T, look, Lady T, well, get your reading glasses, because guess what? You got more to come. Trust me when I tell you.
Yeah.
I'm
What's
so
up?
serious. You got more to come, Lady T. Oh man, listen. Oh, Lady T, would you have any more questions? Yeah, come on.
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
I hope I answered them for you.
You did. I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm definitely looking
Thank
forward
you
to it.
so much. What's the
man.
name? It's The Unexpected Stranger by Lady J, and it's on Amazon.
I'll put it in the chat again.
Put it in
Thank
chat.
you.
That's
I got it in my cart, so I will be checking it out.
You. And don't forget to leave a review. I tell
Yeah.
everybody, if you really enjoyed it, leave a review on Amazon.
And
Yeah.
we hope that you do the
Absolutely.
audio book with your voice. We would love to be like, oh
So
yeah,
you really want my voice, huh? You know,
yeah,
I might have to take a vote.
Well,
Yeah.
I vote. Yeah, you use your voice,
yeah,
authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think I can bring it out more. I think it brought out so many emotions, as I was reading the manuscript, and it started really touching me because it's stuff that you tucked away and you
Yeah.
put it away. You felt like you dealt with it, and so you put it in a basket. But now I'm bringing it back out. Now I have to relive some things. Now I have to, it's like a thing in your brain.
Yeah.
You have to go back now and bring, 30 years back when I
Yeah.
was in my, 20s and 30s. I'm going to have to bring back my mindset, how I was thinking then, my emotions and everything. So it's good to know, because I think for young people, it's also good, even when we're older, to find out somebody's journey. You know how we found out people's journey is that we had to ask our forefathers, right? That's how we found out what was going on. But there's so many different ways on the internet, through books, to find out other people's. I love reading when I was a kid.
And
You
I
that
know,
didn't.
and
that's how
I
I got
didn't.
to escape. You
I
know,
didn't. I didn't. I just like
I
getting
love
to
it.
things.
I
I
maybe
was
you
curious.
guys didn't like to read. I
Yeah,
don't know too many guys that read.
see,
Y'all like being out in the street.
that's why I asked audiobook. All that audiobook because I don't really read. I don't got the. My mind is, man. I try, but just like when I'm at work, I gotta have like a TV on while I'm working from home because otherwise, if I'm just looking at the computer, I'm gonna fall asleep. Look, just looking at the computer. So I always have it on. I did have a question for you, but I wanted to preface the question real quick before because I went to therapy, and to me, it was really the beginning of me becoming a better person.
Okay.
I found out that I have abandonment issues. I found out that these issues that I had in my childhood was the reason for the majority of the things that I was doing in my marriage that was not good. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Whenever my wife went out of town, I would start a fight, pick a fight with her. Whenever she left for a day, I would just go out and get pissy drunk to deal with my emotions because and I mean she wasn't I'm not even saying like she was leaving me. Like if she
Right.
just went on business and left the house for more than 24 hours. Like her friend was having a baby and she went to go help her. And, I lost my mind. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that that was the reason why until I went to therapy. And one day my therapist said that to me. And he said to me, he goes, you have abandonment issues. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you told me the story about your father as being the most impactful thing that you. One day, I saw my father that morning, and within an hour, they told me he was dead. You know what I'm saying? I was 11.
Wow.
And I didn't process that. I never processed that. I still thought my father was coming back until I was 18. I remember the day that I realized that he was never coming back. So from 11 to 18, I always thought he was coming back. You know what I'm saying? And it was the day I started playing football, all this other kind of stuff. And then it was the day where the parents get to walk you out on the field. I was the captain of the football team. I was the sack leader, which called I was basically a famous person at my school. And I was dating the head pom pom, which is my wife now. And life is great for me right now. I'm getting ready. I got full rides to colleges, all kinds of stuff, and I had no one to walk me on the field. And that was the day that I realized that my dad was never coming back. And I still never processed that. So anyway, going to therapy, I figured, all that stuff came and it was empowering. And like you said, this
Mhm.
is another thing that I definitely feel we need to change. Now, I will premise it by saying that you got to make sure you find the right therapist
Absolutely.
because it is absolutely important in that. But therapy is definitely something us as a culture and as a people we've always shunned it, and it's definitely something that I believe in now, and definitely telling my family and kids and everybody, go. If you feel like you go to a therapist, that find the right one for you. So, how did you feel going to a therapist, and how did it help you?
Well, when he gave it to me, by this time I'm broken, right? I just don't know what to do. The only proclamation I made to myself is I'm not going out like this. And I was willing to make a change right then and there. So he sent me to the psychiatrist. She, tried to find out where I was. And then I went on ahead and got a spiritual therapist. She listened to me. So important they're there to listen. She gave me homework. She helped me to learn myself. We think it's such a bad thing. We're not crazy. We just lost our way. We started bringing stuff at childhood. It helped me to know when you don't deal with issues. First of all, we're not aware we even have any. Sometimes the therapist will be able to tell you the issues that you haven't so you can deal with them, right? It's no judgment here. It's you and her, or if you prefer a male, and they're just going to talk to you one on one. You get a chance to say anything you want to them, and then she just guided me. I remember it took 3 months. I'm going every week. 3 months before she saw me smile. That's a long time. That's a lot hidden in there. But the different things now that you're coming up with, and you're coming up that you know how you when you go to the doctor, they want to know your health history.
Mhm.
It's because they want to know if it runs in your family. Does
Mhm.
depression run in your family? Schizophrenia run in your family? PTSD run in your family? Cancer? You know, does this all run in your family? Because you might have the potential of having that. And if we see some signs, then we want to be able to treat that. And we have to know too, mental illness is dealing with your brain. It is a health issue. God is good because I say Jesus, prayer, and therapy. That's what's up. Those combinations are a stone winner. You can't have one without the other.
Mm. Lady T, you look like you wanted to say something.
And no, I was thinking about something. I've heard that a lot about knowing your history, but then I thought about it. I was like, but does that hold us back when you know that somebody in your family had an issue, let's say alcohol, and you're holding on to, well, it runs in my family. It runs in my family because people hold on to that to say, I'm
Sure.
not going to change because it's already in me. It runs in my family, you know, and they don't really take accountability because a lot of people like to just keep it as, well, that's just a part of who I am. And they don't really take the time to change. And so that's why I was wondering, like, is it always good to know everything about your family? You know what I'm saying?
We're not going to know everything, but we
Right.
should know enough that pertains to us. And if we're faith based, right, then we want God to break the chain, right? We want to break, as we say, the generational curse. So if I know about it and say, you know, my daddy did it or he have it and now I have it and now I'm seeing a few things that's going on with my son, this is going to have to be addressed. We're going to have to pray over it. If I got to get a therapist in order to see what other problems that you have had hidden or you didn't know about, so that you can be a better person. So it's all about being a better me. What steps do I need to take to be a better me? And for me to be the happiest ever, for me to be able to go through my childhood, my teenage years, my adulthood, and where I am today, that's why I wrote the book and have another one within me that needs to come out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important that we are aware and we do something about it.
Lady T, read that at the bottom. It says enough to know what you can carry that was never yours to carry, so you
Mm,
can lay it down at the cross.
amen. That right there. I had so much weight on me. That's why I collapsed at the hospital. I was
Yeah.
carrying too much. You know, I'm trying to do this, that, and the other. I just had too much going on. She slowed me down from that. She said, Lady J, the only one that you can control is you. You're going to, and then she asked me the question, are you trying to do God's job?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I know,
So
right? That's
sweet. And she said nothing but just smiled and just, I thought about that. Tears just came
Wow.
to my eyes. Man, I'm doing too much.
too much.
Hmm.
You
You-
know,
And to add to that, I was also going to say, because a lot of times your history and your family is brought to you in a way that you think is normal. So in other words, like for instance, alcoholism was big in my family. Alcohol in my house was normal. Getting drunk was normal. It was you didn't have a good day, have a drink. You didn't like what's going on, have a drink. You know what I'm saying? And even these things, even with your body, the way you eat, typically if you have gluttony or you have a big family, that's because you've been brought to eat all the bacon, all the ham hocks, don't exercise, don't do these things. And it goes throughout your whole family typically. It's not something. So that's what about knowing your history, knowing that your uncle like all your uncles got diabetes. You know why? Because in your family, y'all not eating correctly. You're not
That's it.
exercising correctly. You're not doing this. Usually, that's how these things are going through our family. Alcoholism is in your family. You know why? Because y'all all everybody thinks, okay, is that you know what? It's after work. Let's get some beers. It's what you call it. Let's do this.
It's
Let's
get
do that.
happy hour.
And that's running through your fam. That's running through your family. It becomes when you normalize these things and you find out later that guess what? It's actually not normal. You know what I'm saying? It's actually not normal. It is just something that you just come to expect because you grew up with it all your life. But fighting, arguing, abuse. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't even know how to deal with. Some people don't know how to deal with abuse because that's Tuesday in the house. They don't understand that this is abuse. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that coming home and calling your significant other all the words in the book is something that you shouldn't have because that's how their parents grew up. And that's what I feel when I think about breaking a lot of the traditions and stuff like that. It took me to realize that a lot of these things aren't normal. Like what I thought was normal is not really normal. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you find other people's houses and you find out how crazy it is over there, and then you understand why people are not mentally stable. Because their father came home every day and called them everything under the sun, and they think that's part of a normal relationship, or
Exactly.
what, or their mother, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? And then they do the same thing and think it's normal. So that's what I think about when we talk about changing the generational curses. So,
You see, we got a question. The question is prayer therapy or is prayer meditation?
I say both.
yeah.
I say both.
It can be both. Absolutely. It all, yeah. For me, it's definitely therapy. I pray every morning. I wake up, I pray over my wife, I pray over my kids,
Mhm.
I pray over all these things. I pray over my in-laws, I pray over my goddaughters, my nieces, my nephews. I pray over all of it. And it definitely is therapy for me because when I don't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? I don't what you call it. And I think it definitely helps with my marriage and it helps me to be in the right mind frame every morning to take that time and I'm getting my mind right. You know what I'm saying? For the day. So when things do come at me, I'm already prayed up. I'm already healed. I'm already here. I'm good for it. So that's just my opinion on prayer. Anybody else want to get an answer?
I can say prayer is also meditation where we can give gratitude, right? A lot of times in the morning, I just said, "Oh, thank you, God. You woke me up again this morning. Woo, thank you that I'm able to breathe. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I go and open up the curtains. Oh, thank you for a beautiful day. No, the sun's not out today, but I sure thank you for the rain because it helps to cleanse the earth.
Yes.
Before you know it, you're just saying one thing after another. So I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to have a fantastic day. So you can do that. I just try to use prayer in different things. We try to put prayer in boxes. Sometimes, I mean, you can have a short prayer. I can be here and just praying throughout, Lord, make sure I'm saying the right things as I'm doing this podcast, right? It's all about having the Spirit of the Lord and you acknowledging that you want Him in your life.
That's right.
I wanted to say, I was listening to you guys. One thing I do always say, my grandmother before she had passed, it's like she put this in me. I said, you know what? I will never let nobody rob me of my joy, of my happiness, of my peace.
That
Never.
right there.
No man, I will never like you. I'm a laughing, even in the midst of sadness. I'm gonna find me some type of laughter. And I wanted to say something to you, Rodney. It's not I think it's how you said it to your daughter because death is a part of life. It
It
does
is.
happen, and we have to learn how to deal with it in the season that it happened. And I think that's what's most important. Is I think it was because people do die every day. You know what I'm saying? And it's how you said it because you know we have to learn how if we learn how to do it now when the unexpected happens we'll know how to receive it regardless of who it is. Even if I'm saying to me too,
Absolutely.
even myself, if something unexpectedly happened, if I'm prepared to accept it, I'll be able to go through it. I'm not saying you're not going to mourn. You're going to mourn,
Oh,
but
yes.
you'll be able to go through it. In the midst of the sadness, you'll still have to have a heart full of joy that, you know what, God, you blessed me to be here, even though I know it's tough to go through it. But guess what? God is an awesome God. He's going to bring you through it. And if you believe that and trust in it, I guarantee you, he'll bring you out. And as so many things that have happened to me, so many people have passed in my life that meant a lot to me. And, you know, at a young age, I learned how to deal with death. Even with my parents still living. But I'll tell you right now, if one of them passed, I'm going to have a tough time, but I'll be able to go through it because God had already put it in my spirit how to deal with death. It's part of his life. Because guess what? As long as I see my parents living the way they are, I'm going to be joyful. You understand? And even if they're not, I'm still going to be like, God, you allow me, you bless me with this time with that individual. And this is their perspective time to lead. See, everybody can't do that. So I'm respecting everybody, how they deal with it, how they accept it. I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give something to someone to understand that death is a part of life. And it has to happen. It's going to happen. And that's why it's important for us to live a certain life. So when it does happen, unexpected, we'll know how to deal with it. We'll know how to navigate through that time, that mourning season. And we're going to all go through that sometime of life if we're not here. We're going to go through it. And knowing how to do that is accepting it and saying, you know what, God, bring me through this. Bring me through this storm. Bring me through this sadness. And you have to fill your heart with joy. Even in the midst, like I said, that's why I said, I will never let nobody rob me of my joy. I know that is a part of life. And so even in the midst of that, I will be sad. You know what I'm saying? Even with my brothers, I'm going to be sad. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to cry. I'm going to blah. But I know that God is my healer, my waymaker, you know what I'm saying? My provider. I know that. And so, you know, and I say that just to be encouraging to someone. That's all.
All right. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Lady T. You got nothing to add to it?
Nope, I have nothing to add.
Lady T.
What's the world coming to?
Hey, get a Lady J. Because let me tell you something, Lady J.
I know you can talk, baby.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I love it.
This is all about you. It's all about you.
Oh my goodness.
Lady T just happy to have another woman on the panel that she don't have to fight us off the whole time.
I'll be watching y'all program. I was like, oh, Lady T all by herself.
Yeah.
Oh, it ain't that bad. I help her out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all right.
Chef Dennis be off the rocker sometimes. Sometimes you gotta wheel him in. You gotta be like, hold on, buddy.
You know, he comes back. He comes back.
It takes some time though.
But then he'll come on back. It's all good, Chef Dennis. It's all good.
Yeah, that's how it is. Listen, somebody I want to tell y'all, somebody made a comment.
Okay.
Hold on. It's private. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
No, so the person, and see if they're watching, I pray that that God touched their heart. The person said because he ain't real. If he was there, would he real records? This wasn't that long ago. That's basically he's saying God recording. It says the mystery of Jesus' appearance unveiled. So I put a short out, and a person replied that he ain't real, like Jesus not real. And so I pray that God touches that person's heart and they understand what it is to have a relationship. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. They made a comment, but it's always going to be somebody out
all
there.
comments don't need to be answered. I'll tell you
No,
that.
I mean, yeah, but
you can't help that, man. He'll find out about Jesus on his own.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. That's what we got to do. We got to pray for him. Pray that God touches his heart.
And we show the love of God. That's all we can do. We're not here to put it down your throat or anything like that. People can tell by your character that something is different about you. And if they want to know more, then you're able to share. People in this world now just want people to be kind,
Hmm.
to
Yeah,
be
absolutely.
nice, to be kind. And then there's some that just doesn't want to be. And, God bless you and keep it moving.
That's
Yeah.
it. Keep it
Yeah.
moving.
That's all that you can do. But I'm with you too, Rodney. My younger brother's name is Rodney.
That's
We have to be able to show how we're supposed to be. We
Yeah,
have
I mean, I've been confronted with that before. You know what I'm saying? And every time it comes to me, I tell them, well, the good news is I can't save you. I was like, you're gonna have to experience your own. All I can do is show you my light and who I am. It's like you want to come hang out with me and learn about me. I got you. But when it comes to you and your walk with God, then that's between you and Him. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I All I can do is plant the seed
hmm
and God will water it. And if you see me and you see my life and you see what I'm trying to do, I want to set that example for you. Then that's all I'm gonna continue doing. Unfortunately, you being saved is not on me. And but I will show you. I will show you the way. If you want to come, you want to ride, I'll show you the way. If you Once you get tired, I've said that to my nephew. I love him to death, and I said to him this whole time, I can show you a different way. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you to come through. It's not up to me. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is have my door open and be willing to show you. You know what I'm saying? And you come for the ride, you figure it out, you see what I'm doing, but I'm not going to change for you or because of you. You know what I'm saying? My walk with God is, God has gotten me through a lot. So I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with anybody who comes to me and tells me that they don't believe in God or they don't believe. I tell them, I was like, well, I still love you. And if you want to come and ride with me, you still ride with me. That don't change nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you the love no matter what. So I agree with you, Lady J.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't had that experience.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
all.
That
I'm-
one-on-one experience, they just haven't had it.
yeah.
I mean, you remember our parents or our grandparents. Oh, glory to God. Oh, thank you. Oh, Jesus. He's just so good. They're doing all that, and we're coming up and we're going, oh, okay, he's good. We still young in the game, right? We don't have that experience that they have, that they off the charts with it. We have to go through it to get our own relationship, our own experiences with Jesus. So I can come back and say, yes, he is good.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
because I experienced that.
You want me? No, it's crazy that you just said that. I just thought about something. Look, this my thing. As I grew in my walk, right, and I used to see this a lot. What you just said. I go to church. I see my grandparents. I see my family. They shouting, "Ah!" Right. I'm keeping 100 with y'all. Look,
Yep,
that was the
yep.
tradition. They shouting, oh yeah, they got a good shout, right? When I got stronger, when my walk got better, and my light got brighter, I said, no, that ain't nothing but that was shown to me. That was taught to me. Because guess what? When the Holy Spirit speaks to me and it come over me, I don't act that way. And I'm not saying no,
It's
because you know
all
what? It's inner. It's the inner.
it's,
And I
it's
begin to cry. I
mhm.
begin to pour out. I begin to call out His name, because you know what? I begin to think about all the things that He has done for me
The
and brought
goodness
me
of God.
out. And there were so many things where that's when I began to cry, because I think about, you know what? I could have died. I was in car
Oh,
accidents, multiple ones. When you see my
mhm.
car, you be like, "Oh my goodness, you got out of that!" And that didn't push me to God. I still was out there doing what I was doing. So see, I was doing my stuff, but I still had a desire to just live for Him, even in the midst of that. And that's when I began to just pour. I be, like I said, crying and worship. I was telling somebody the other day, I am a worshiper. I love to worship. I
Oh,
love to praise God. So if you look at my playlist, you be like, what's this? I got nothing but gospel. I got a little bit of R&B. I'm not saying
there you
I'm
go.
very. I got a little bit of hip hop. I got a little bit of that, but majority of My feed is gospel because guess what? I'm always want to be. My mind want to be thinking about God, even in the midst. I know sometimes I might slip up and do something that's sinful. And I gotta repent. But guess what? At the end of the day, my mind stay focused. My mind stay on God, even in the midst when I'm getting upset. It stay focused, and God keep me. It keeps me level headed. You know what I'm saying? And even in praying. I don't even pray that much like I'm supposed to, but I worship and I'm supposed to be praying more, but I worship more than I pray. And I'm being honest and transparent. I do. I worship more than I pray. I pray some nights. I don't pray every night, but I'm supposed to. And that's what as we talk is getting me to become stronger and more aware of how I'm supposed to be with people. And that's what prayer comes in at for me. And I just wanted to share that. The Lady T
That's
looking
me.
like she quiet today. I don't like that. I don't like this Lady T.
I don't
But
like it either. I'm starting to
Word.
get nervous
You have
too.
a comment, Lady T.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
No, I'm listening. I'm enjoying this conversation. It's very wonderful. That's all. Nothing wrong with me being a little quiet, y'all.
No, man, we've been this is season 2. Don't come here with all this quiet stuff.
No.
You be on fire. Now you on.
When we have guests, I always want the guests to have the floor and always talk and say everything they want to say. So,
Hey,
Lady
Rodney.
J, this is your
They're gonna have to
time.
ask me some more questions.
Hey,
but
Rodney,
Go ahead, Lady T.
when she came in here, Rodney, when Lady J came in here, what did she come in with? That energy, right? She ain't come in with all right. So you gotta come bring your energy level up.
No. I feel like we're gonna catch it next week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
Right, Lady
like,
J not gonna be here.
It's like when my wife be quiet, I get nervous and I don't know what. I be like, oh, what I do? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Baby, I'm just pre-trained for that. My wife get quiet. She ain't told me about her date today. I know something up. Hold on. What's going on?
Get
What's
prepared.
going on? Let's get talking. Yeah, let's get
I'll
talking.
tell you what else I wanted to mention too that I put in my book was self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care is very important. That's another thing, when I collapsed in the hospital, I had nothing going on. Those things were little by little. The therapist is not just to do craziness. It dives into you and it gives you suggestions on how to be better. She said, "What kind of self-care are you doing?" I was like, "What? Self-care? I don't have time for self-care. I've got too much I have to do." She says, "First of all, I'm going to need you to set you some boundaries." A lot of us don't have boundaries. I told my mother, she's 91, this is what I can do for you at this particular time. I'm off during this time. Okay. My husband, what's for dinner? Well, you came in pretty late. It's in the fridge. You could just go ahead and get yourself something and warm it up. So you're giving suggestions. I'm saying I need to take a mental break. Okay, everybody's cool. Good. I'm fitting. Sorry. Get ready to go
I
to
love
my
it.
room. I'm ready to go to my room and take a break.
Yes.
Okay. So once you start doing that, then I started doing full body detox. Now, I was gifted this after my father had passed, bringing him down, him and my mom, and he passed in 5 months. And that just really rocked my world. Daddy's girl rocked it. And so they started me off at having full body detox. First 2, I was fine. Ooh, it feels so good. The third one, the emotions were so buried within me. They finally started coming to the surface. I was emotional and cried for the whole hour. I came out. Wow. I came out like a
New person, didn't you?
You just do about 2 or 3 of them. Some of them you have to check around for prices and all of that. But it's important you take out time treat yourself. Anybody ever take themselves out for a date? Oh,
I do.
Yes.
You got
I
to
do.
have somebody with you. Y'all need to stop that
No,
right
I
now
By
not
and
me.
myself.
learn to be
I
with
go to the movies by
yourself.
myself. Yes, I do.
I'll go to the movies by myself. I'll get all nice and cute and go on out, honey, and enjoy my. Did Janelle, you enjoy? Oh, ooh, honey, I had a wonderful time. Lady J had a great time. What'd you do? Took myself out to dinner. Like you
Mhm.
said, Chef Dennis went to a movie, came
Mhm.
on home, had a good
La-
Yeah.
time. We have
lady,
I
to
go have
learn.
lunch by myself too. I said I
You
just
see
sit
what I'm
there
saying?
meditate. I be just thinking about, if not thinking about the podcast, thinking about what I'm gonna do next week and next month. I just by
Look,
myself.
you got me moving around like this. This is happy time, you know, because
lady,
you get all happy. Oh, it's me
Start
time. I
dancing.
done done everything for everybody else. Oh, it's me time. I can't wait, Janelle.
Lady J, do you know that is a generational curse that has been put
Yes,
on black women for a long time?
yes,
Like that is back in the day. If you were the oldest daughter, guess what you did? You took care of everybody. You
yes.
came home. You the oldest daughter. You was the person that when mom, dad went to work, they kids came home. You had to get everybody to homework. You had to
Yep.
start dinner. You had to get everybody in the
Yes,
bath.
I had
You
the
had
babysit.
to do this. You had to, you had to run the house at a very young age and
Hmm.
never was taught to take time for yourself. That is, we had an episode, the Women of Dad Mentality, where we discussed that and
Ooh,
then it becomes to a point, this is what they express, it becomes to a point in your life where then when you try to take time for yourself, you feel guilty. You feel
Mhm.
like you didn't do enough. You didn't do something. How am I taking time for myself? I got to take care of the kids. Like one of the young ladies said, I felt guilty going on vacation without bringing my kids, and I was like, huh? Like I would never bring my kids on no vacation unless it's one for them. But yeah, it's something that definitely is also a curse that we need to break, especially for our women. And that's the whole thing, that the myth of the strong black woman. You know what I'm saying? And I've always told my wife that you ain't gotta always be strong. Like you got, if you can't be vulnerable and weak with me, then who can you be vulnerable with? You know what I'm saying?
see,
Like, why
that's
do
a
you
subject right there with women because sometimes we're trusting the wrong man and it backfires on
Mhm.
us.
I can
So
believe
we
that.
really have to sort of be careful of that because the black woman, it is a strong man. I mean, how many of you say, be strong? Be strong. You have to be strong. You can't cry. I was doing that the other day. I said, Lord, I don't need to cry right now because that's really not going to work with me. It's not going to work with you. But then when you read the Bible, he talks about your tears. Your tears are cleansing. Your
Mhm.
tears, it could be tears of joy. See, when you're into the word, you're meditating. Sometimes you might not have time to be into the Bible, but if you're meditating, the Holy Spirit is talking to you because you're open to him. There's a lot of things that I might have went through during the week and I heard a sermon or I heard a talk that was a confirmation of what the Holy Spirit just told me within that week just by having that communication with him. You just say different things, during we think a prayer, we got to get down on it. We have to go to the war room. We got to go into the closet. We have to do those prayers. And those prayers are appropriate when it's time. But when I'm out and about in my car and I'm driving, I'm like, Lord, I'm so glad to have this time with you, but I have some things on my heart I just want to share with you. And I'm sharing it with him right there in the car, in the silence, so that we can talk to each other, so I can hear his voice. Learn to not always want to be in noise. God
Mhm.
speak to you when it's the first thing you get up in the morning. You got to turn on the TV. Oh, I got to know
Mm.
what the events are. Now when I get into the car, I got to listen to the radio. Do you notice that every time? How can God speak to you through all the noise? That's
Right.
what prayer,
Yes.
meditation, and being quiet is about, so that God can speak to you in the way he knows how.
Yes.
Lady T, why you saying
It
yes?
was so beautiful because that's so true. We have a lot of noise. We have so much noise that we're not really taking time to just be in silence and let God speak to our spirit with no, you got background noise. Okay. But putting on the television, on the radio, on something that, is distracting is not really connecting in my opinion, not always. But if you can have that, it's beautiful. We need to do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Lady T. That was
Of course.
beautiful. But of course,
Oh man, this was.
beautiful smile. I love it.
I know that's real. This was wonderful. Listen, Lady J, you are always welcome to come
Yeah.
back anytime.
You
Listen, you have.
invite me, just let me know.
Oh,
I love
okay.
the different subjects that you all talk about. This was
Oh,
off the chain.
yes, I love it. I love. Listen, you are special. You know that. I
Thank
you
you.
you you right down the alley with me because you came up with that energy. I was like, oh yes. You know how the girls be doing double dutch. They were like, my turn, my turn. I was like this. Yes, come on, yeah, yeah. Let me come on, Rodney, get in there, get in there.
Right, just looking like that.
Word. That's how Rodney said, I ain't jumping no rope, man. That's for girls.
Hey,
Hey man,
man, I was a double Dutch king. You better believe it. Don't worry about that.
What?
Man, anything the girls was with, I was be around the
Oh, you
girls.
was
I was
with it,
there.
huh?
Oh yeah, I can do it all. Hula hoop, all that. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I tell you,
yeah.
yeah.
You better believe it.
Hey, Rodney talking about he was the king of that, right? I just was doing it because I was messing with the girls. I was like, yeah, come on,
Well,
y'all, let's
that's what
do it
you think
again.
I was doing it for. Who do you think they hung around? The dude that knew how to swing the rope
Word
You
up.
and all that.
No,
Yeah,
they
who
You
you
say
see,
think
they've
it
Dennis.
been
was?
learning that stuff ever since they were kids. You see what I'm
Word.
saying?
Man,
I
I'm
said,
good.
they said Dennis. Dennis know how to do double dutch. I said, come on, yeah, I'll
Nah.
do it. Come on.
Mhm.
Yeah, me and Lady T, we gonna stick together.
Yes,
Had them
right.
all.
Oh man, listen. This is the conclusion of our show. It was wonderful. And listen, we will always love to have you, Lady J, and we will always inform you what the topic is, so you be prepared to be a part of this. And it
No.
was a pleasure to have you. And with that being said, this is the end of the session, end of the week. And guys, we will see you guys next week. Be blessed. Hold on, guys. Hold on, Lady J. In this